Hey guys, I'm back here with another video. Today I actually have a bit of a weird story. Some of you might have already seen it if you are following me on Twitter, but that's besides the point. So what we have here is a copy of Zoop. It's a puzzle game that was published by Viacom in, I believe, 1995 or 1996. I can't quite remember exactly when. I've heard it's halfway decent, and more importantly, it was one of those games that you'd find 3 or 4 copies of when all of the other good games were checked out. Um, the reason I bought this game in particular, or I didn't technically buy it, but I'll explain that in a second. The reason I got this game in particular is because I needed a cartridge to replace the back of my copy of Tecmo Secret of the Stars, which I got just a few days before. I specifically got Zoop here because it's made in Mexico, and so is Tecmo Secret of the Stars. And more importantly, I wanted to make sure that the back of the two cartridges, that the back of the cartridge matched the front of the cartridge with the label, because both of them say made in Mexico, and Zoop is a cheap game. In fact, I think the price tag on this cartridge said it was $4.99. Although I ended up getting it for free because I was also purchasing a copy of the 7th Saga with its instruction manual, and because I'm a regular at the pawn shop that I got the game at, the owner of the pawn shop, who recognized me, just threw it in for free because it's a cheap game that most people probably wouldn't even think to buy. It wasn't until just recently that I got around to testing the game out, because as you might have seen in my previous video, I was planning on selling a bunch of games to this one game store near me, and I just wanted to make sure that all of them worked, which included Zoop. I also wanted to try it out to see whether or not I actually liked the game, and never actually got around to doing so up until just last week. And that's when I noticed something strange. So let's put it in the Super Nintendo and fire it up. Yeah, as you can see, it's not Zoop. It's Mario's Time Machine. And I was initially confused when I saw this, but that's when I remembered something from when I originally got the game, which I will show you in just a second. But yeah, it is indeed Mario's Time Machine. It's not like some hack or prank of some kind. It is the actual game in here, as you can see. So the one thing I do remember when I first picked up this game was that this screw hole here was missing. And although I found it a bit perplexing, I wrote it off, and I think that might have been part of the reason why it was being sold at such a cheap price. And actually, it's because of this that I put this on the back here. But yeah, this one screw hole here was missing. So I opened up the game again, and this time I took another look at the circuit board. If it will open, bear with me. There we go. And as you can see here, the code on this circuit board is SNS8M0. The thing with SNES games is that when you open them up on these Toshiba chips, or whatever chip is in your cartridge, there will always be at least one that has a code that's supposed to match the one seen on the front label here. In the case of 7th Saga, for instance, the code here is SNSELUSA, and the code on one of the chips on the circuit board inside would say something like SNSEL0. But in this case, what we have here is 8M, which is the code for Mario's Time Machine, as opposed to AZPE, the code for Zoop. I found this out by looking it up on this one database. Now what's interesting is that Mario's Time Machine, from what I've seen, goes online for anywhere from $20 to $30. It's not quite as rare or expensive as the NES version, which normally goes for like freaking 10 times that price. But I mean, considering I got this game for free, and even if I didn't, it would have been $5, I can't really say that that I'm complaining all that much. My only real issue is that I kind of wish it was a better game instead of a shitty edutainment game that nobody really cares about, aside from the fact that it's a Mario game. Like, imagine if it was Ogre Battle March of the Black Queen, or Evo, the Search for Eden, or whatever. That would have been a lot cooler, and it would have been really funny as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you have any strange stories of your own, like any circuit board swaps or what have you, let me know in the comments. I don't know if this is an elaborate prank or a mistake of some kind, like if the owner accidentally put the wrong game in the wrong cartridge. Who knows? Potentially there's a copy of Zoop out there that's hiding inside a Mario's Time Machine cartridge, and I might have the opposite of that. But yeah, anyway, that'll be it for now.